Niger Delta by Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement. We, the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement, wish to, on behalf of our people, categorically condemn the 3 months quit notice issued to the Igbos by the Arewa Youth Consultative Forum and supported by the Northern Elders Forum, as clearly presented to the world through their spokesman, Alhaji Ango Abdullahi. We are also alarmed by the persistent but false, malicious, provocative, and unacceptable claims made by Alhaji Ango Abdullahi on behalf of the Northern Nigeria that, and I quote, Southern Nigeria was developed by resources from the north, and that none of the western and eastern regions had the money to effectively run the affairs of its region until they get financial support from the northern region. End of quote. Furthermore, the fallacious, deliberate, and disinformative falsehood by Alhaji Ango Abdullahi, including the claim that, quote, money from the north was used to construct Nigerian railways, refineries, and other facilities, end of quote, and that, quote, the first oil exploration was conducted using money from groundnut pyramid, cotton, hide, and skin, among other cash crops from Nigeria, end of quote, are anti-historical and contrary to historical facts and figures in the British archives and all other historical records available to humanity. It is on record, verifiable records, that before and after the amalgamation of the southern and northern protectorates, without the consent of the indigenous people of the Niger Delta, the North had been and still remains dependent on the South for its economic and infrastructural needs and wants, like schools, hospitals, roads, workers' salary, etc. It is on record that since the discovery of oil in commercial quantities in Oloibiri in 1956, the indigenous peoples of the Niger Delta have been excluded from the ownership, control, and management of our natural resources by the Nigerian Federation through the expropriation of our lands and resources by the Northern-inspired drafted military constitution, amongst all other obnoxious decrees that were later converted to acts. Our people have been killed whenever they have attempted to assert their rights to control their God-given resources. It is saddening that majority of oil wells in the Niger Delta are owned and controlled by the northern cabals, and even the few owned by our people have been fraudulently and forcibly taken from them. Our people have been recently denied licenses for modular refineries, while persons from the northern part of Nigeria have had a field day despite assurances of the contrary by the Nigerian state. These acts of the Nigerian state is in breach of Article 26(1) of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of the Indigenous Peoples, which guarantees the rights of the indigenous peoples to own, control, manage their lands and any resources found thereon, and the Declaration 1 of the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 03 of 14th December 1962 on permanent sovereignty over natural resources, which provides that, quote, the rights of the peoples and nations to permanent sovereignty over their natural wealth and resources must be exercised in the interest of their national development and of the well-being of the people of the state concerned. In this case, the Niger Delta. We want to make it clear that no modular refinery will be allowed to operate within the Niger Delta, which is not owned and controlled by our people. And we further demand the immediate and unconditional relocation of the corporate headquarters of all international and national oil and gas companies, including oil and gas servicing firms operating in the Niger Delta. Enough is enough. We are seriously disappointed on the position taken by the United Nations on the quick notice issued to the Igbos living in the north by the Arewa people by its country resident coordinator, Mr. Edward Callum. The statement is nothing but a gross disservice to the very ideas and ideals of the United Nations, which through its various resolutions and declarations have established the rights of indigenous peoples to self-determination, civil protest, and peaceful association. Whilst Mr. Callum is quick to preach peaceful coexistence on behalf of the United Nations, he has failed to acknowledge, let alone condemn, the wanton killings of defenseless and innocent Christians in several parts of southern Nigeria and the Middle Belt, including but not limited to Enugu, Delta, Rivers, Ekiti, Ondo, Edo, Southern Kaduna, Jos, Agatu, Nimbo, by the Fulani headsmen who have been identified as the fourth most deadliest terrorist group by the Global Terrorism Index. The attempt by Mr. Callum to justify the quick notice order given by the northern youths on the basis of the sit-at-home strike of the Igbos to commemorate and mourn their loss during the Civil War and others killed before and thereafter, a right guaranteed by the United Nations Declaration number 2 of Resolution 1514 of 14th December 1960 and Article 3 of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People smacks of double standards. Consequently, the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement condemns in the strongest possible terms the position of the United Nations through its country resident coordinator, which justifies the quick notice order given to the Igbos by the northern youth. Mr. Edward Callum needs to be reminded that self-determination is contained in all the main instruments of the United Nations, the Charter and International Covenants of Human Rights in accordance with the United Nations Charter, identify self-determination as a right of peoples, and it seems to be a fundamental human right forming part of the legal system established by the Charter. In conclusion, we, all the indigenous people of the Niger Delta, demand the immediate and unconditional restructuring of the current faulty, evil, and anti-Niger Delta unitary federal structure. Gentlemen of the press, we hereby present to the world the Niger Delta Indigenous Peoples Charter. The struggle just began. Long live the indigenous peoples of the Niger Delta. Long live the Niger Delta.